Hey guys, welcome in a new episode of Steven's Week. And again, a lot has happened in the tech marketing and customer experience scene this week. Welcome in the show. Once again, a big scene where the action was the car industry this week. A lot has happened. Uber released a self-driving car in Pittsburgh where they have a big research lab with 49 key researchers, so that was big. Next to that, Toyota invested a big amount of money in Uber. Volkswagen invested a big amount of money in Gett, which is a European rival of Uber. So you see that all these more traditional car manufacturers, they are investing in the car sharing business. GM invested $500 million in Lyft last year. So you see this is becoming huge, and if you look at the figures, car sharing is going to be really big in some of the major cities in the world. So you see that the traditional players are moving into this field. But last week Apple invested $1 billion in a Chinese car sharing ride. So you see this is where the action is at this moment. I'm very happy to introduce something from Belgium. This week the agency These Days launched Coins for Hope, which was on the day of the missing child, and it was fantastic what they have done. They actually launched a real coin of €2 where normally the King of Belgium would be on, but now one of the missing children is on that coin to make it more, or create more awareness, and to do that in a fantastic way. I think they've done a brilliant job there. Congrats guys. Again, bad news for us humans. MasterCard and Pizza Hut are teaming up, and they're gonna replace humans by robots, and they're gonna use Pepper, the famous Japanese robot, to take people's order in their restaurants. 2016 is really the year of the start of VR, and you don't just see it in the entertainment and in the gaming industry. Last week I showed you something from eBay. Well, this week one of the courts in the UK started to use VR to bring witnesses or victims or people who did something that is a criminal act. Well, they use VR now to bring these people to the scene of the action, the scene where the crime took place, so they don't have to move there anymore, but where you can actually increase the power of witnesses by making it more realistic. Last week I already talked about the battle of the living room as Google Home was launched last week. Well, again this week apparently Apple is working on a new device that should be a competitor of Amazon Echo and the Google Home device as well, and Siri will be of course the interface there, so probably pretty soon we'll see something from Apple for the battle of the living room as well. About 3 years ago Microsoft bought Nokia for about $7 billion, and now 3 years later it is the end of Nokia, and it's gonna lay off about 1,800 people, so this is really the end of the most legendary mobile phone the world ever had in the age before the iPhone. It's beginning to become very clear that 2016 is also the year of artificial intelligence, and that has very positive sides, but it also has its downsides. Foxconn, one of the big suppliers of Apple for their iPhone business, just laid off about half of their staff, and that's not a small layoff. We're talking about 60,000 people because they're replacing them with AI robots, AI interfaces that can do the work that humans do. We've been talking a lot about this, but I'm afraid this is the first big case where it's actually happening. Big week for Apple Pay this week in Singapore. About 5 banks joined Apple Pay, so you will be able to use Apple Pay very soon in a very broad way in Singapore. Another small item, again in the car sharing industry, Uber and Foursquare are teaming up to make sure that Uber drivers can more easily find destinations. So they're trying to do whatever they can to optimize the customer journey. It seems like Apple is really investing in a lot of new things. Like this week the rumor came out that they may be investing in electric car charging stations. Big news from Snapchat this week. This company raised $1.8 billion this week to extend its growth. It only has a few hundred millions in revenue this year, but it's valued at a $20 billion valuation. And in case you don't do it yet, don't forget to follow me on Snapchat. I'm Steven VBE, and sharing all my stories, but they raised $1.8 billion this week. Facebook is going to start with clickable videos, like we already have in YouTube, but they're going to have them on Facebook. It's shopping videos, so if you see something that you really like, you will be able to click it and buy it instantly on the side of the supplier. Alright friends, this was a new episode of Steven's Week. I'm really happy that you took the time to watch these 4 minutes of tech marketing and customer experience news this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're gonna have a fantastic weekend, and please share this video with your friends and colleagues. It would make my day. Thank you and enjoy the weekend. Bye bye.